start working on the second one too.
Part two? Talking about
Part two
Oh.
of Phoenix.
All right.
But not yet. I still got the June. I'm thinking far away.
Progress is still progress.
Yes.
What we could do is we'll play the game. If we'll see who's all interested, and then people that don't want to put up their money, they don't have to, but they can still play. But if they win, they don't get it. The next person gets it.
I mean, well, I see how everybody else feels about that. That's fair.
You know.
I know I miss a lot of these.
I'm in 286. Osho first in the morning. The collective consciousness has been restless because we are taught to be ambitious. How can you rest when there is ambition? Ambition means to run, and to run with speed because there are other runners also. You are not alone. Compete, and compete by all possible means. It doesn't matter whether those means are good or bad. All that matters is success. We have been told again and again that nothing succeeds like success. If you are successful, whatsoever you have done will be thought good. If you fail, even that which was good will be thought to be bad. We are being prepared for a political struggle, for money, power, prestige, name, fame. Naturally, all these things create a kind of feverishness. They don't allow you to rest. Rest seems to be a waste of time. Again and again, we are reminded from all nooks and corners, by parents, by priests, by the pedagogies, by the politicians, that it is better to do something than nothing. And rest means doing nothing. They're even telling you that to do something stupid is good, as long as you go on doing something so that you remain a doer, so you don't lose the quality of being a doer. They have condemned rest like anything. They say an empty mind is the devil's workshop. Rest means emptiness. Rest means there is no thought, no desire, nowhere to go. One is simply relaxing within one's being. It is tremendous contentment with the moment, in the moment, here, now. There is no future, no past, only this moment exists. There is no space to run anywhere. There is no space for a thought to even arise.
That says so much. And that's just what I need to hear coming off vacation. When it talks about rest, or like people always doing stuff, I definitely identify with somebody that's always doing something. Because I've come to the realization that I'm not a person that's quote unquote goal oriented, but I do enjoy the feeling of accomplishment. Like, what did I accomplish? What did I do? But resting, I've noticed, like with anybody, or even myself, with us training, like some people are like, well, why can't I get over the hump? It's like, well, do you sleep? Do you rest? You know, do you give yourself any time to rest? And I don't mean rest as in like, you train for a week, then you're gone for a month. I mean like, all right, you train for, let's say we train for 2 hours, and you get good sleep at night. You know, your body needs to rest. And I see how that can correlate with everything else in life.
Yeah, it's important teaching for people that all they do is just do, and I think what you mentioned earlier too, about Des, for example, saying that, you know, he's probably hurting himself because he's so stressed. So there's people out there that all they do is they just keep doing things, and then their body gets worn down, their mind gets worn down, they forget to rest. There's the other people though, where they rest too much and they don't have any energy or any motivation to do anything. And those people, I think it's important for them not to run to these meditation teachings and have it justify their laziness, you know.
It's alright, I ain't gotta do nothing.
So it's that balance that we always talk about, you know, like we just finished doing some exercises and fitness training. Now we're kind of resting and stretching. It's like you gotta notice that balance. Like, no, not to overwork, but then at the same time, don't, you know, just be lazy either, you know. But these teachings are aimed at people who they just overwork too much, and they may be too greedy, or they value money too much, and they don't make time for things that are really important in life, you know. 287, a really blissful person has nothing to hide. He is expressive, he is creative, and because he has nothing to hide, he does not have a double personality. Double personalities are complicated, and you cannot stop at having two. Once you move in that direction, soon you will need a third personality, then a fourth, then a fifth. It is a process that goes on ad infinitum. One lie needs another lie to protect it, and so on and so forth. Tell a single lie, and you will have to tell 1,001 lies to protect it. And in their own turn, they will need another lie. You will completely forget why you started lying, what the first lie was. A man who is blissful has nothing to lie about, has nothing to hide, nothing to cover up. He does not need another personality. He is simple, and he is never arrogant. He cannot be. There is no need. Why should he be arrogant? He is so blissful that he is grateful. He is not arrogant. He is not angry at the world. He is very thankful to all.
That's a pretty deep statement. To strive for the latter is good. You know, I think so many people, a number of people out here blame others for their failure. You know, and then they don't see anything. It seems to me that they don't see anything wrong with taking advantage of other people, because life is not giving them what they have, what they think that they should get. But to be able to strive hard for what you want, acknowledging that it won't be easy, but continuing that process, hopefully, and thinking the person will become smart in themselves to seek humility first. And I guess that will subsequently push a person in the area of bliss, where they don't blame others and they don't argue that society is, or life is against them, but take what life offers. I think that's a pretty good statement.
Thoughts are like ripples, waves. They keep your mind continuously wavering. And when the mind is wavering, it cannot reflect the moon. It is like a lake full of waves. The moon is there, but the lake is incapable of reflecting it. Once the lake is completely silent, as if it has become a mirror, the moon is reflected in all its glory. In fact, the moon reflected in the lake is far more beautiful than the real moon, because the lake adds something to the beauty, to the splendor. And the same is true of truth. When you are absolutely silent and truth is reflected in you, it gains something. Truth becomes richer when it is reflected in the consciousness of the Buddha. When Jesus looks at truth, truth has far more splendor. It is not only that Jesus is liberated by truth, truth is also liberated by Jesus. It is not only that Buddhas are grateful to truth, truth is also grateful to Buddhas. In the East, it is a well-known fact that whenever a single person becomes enlightened, the whole universe takes a quantum leap toward the unknown. Each Buddha has been making the diamond of truth more and more beautiful, but the whole art is to be in silence, in total silence. So that is going to be your work on yourself, sitting silently, doing nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself.
see the moon reflected in the water because of the waves or the thoughts. It just gets me to think like, you know, people, for instance, like they can't see the truth because their thoughts get in the way. It's like, oh, well, this, that, and the other. It's like, who said that? Like, this is the reality. If you stop thinking about it, you'll clearly see that this is the reality. And I like that quote unquote analogy or example of how thoughts can get in the way.
Man is a stranger on the earth. He is here, but he does not belong. He tries in every way to make a home, to create relationships, but everything fails. He remains homeless unless he starts looking inward, because there is his real home. And the inner transcends the earth. The inner is not part of the earth. It is here and is not here. Once we know who we are in our inner world, then the feeling of being a stranger disappears. You have found your home, your universe. You have found godliness. Unless that happens, every effort is bound to fail. All our love relationships fail without exception. It is just our hope that there is an exception. All power fails. One can have all the riches in the world, and yet one remains poor. One can possess the whole world, yet deep down one knows one is empty, hollow, and there is no meaning to life. It is impossible to throw away this feeling of meaninglessness. Impossible to become attuned to the outside world unless you have become attuned to the inner. Once you are attuned to the inner, a miracle happens. The outer is no longer outer. It becomes just an extension of the inner. Once you have seen your center, your circumference becomes a part of it. Then one lives in the world, and yet the world is not in one. One lives in the world, yet one remains untouched by it. $2.90. There are worldly people who are mad after money, power, prestige, and there are so-called monks, the otherworldly people, who are madly against the world. But the madness is the same. There's no difference in their madness. Their insanity is the same. The object has changed. They're no longer for the world. They are against the world. But they are the same people. They have not changed. My whole effort here is to give you the exact point, which is the middle of the extremes. Buddha has called this path Majjhim Nikaya, which means the middle way. He used to say, if you are exactly in the middle, you transcend the polar opposites. Then you're neither in lust nor in hate. And that state of coolness, where nothing disturbs you, neither love nor hate, is the state where bliss is found, godliness is found, truth is found. And just when the pendulum of a clock stops in the middle, if you hold the pendulum in the middle, the clock stops. In exactly the same way, if you stop your mind in the middle, mind disappears and time disappears too. You suddenly entered eternity. That is the world of godliness, the world of the immortals.
That is beautiful. That is what I see, the middle way. I've read that before. And the middle way that they speak of, where you don't have anger or bliss or excitement. You just remain in the middle. That is a heavenly path, I think. And that's a climb that I will make, that I've been trying to. As human, things will get in the way and make you pissed off. Like for instance, no. But I had to retain myself, had to come back to the middle way. Woke me up. As you can hear, I have caught something over the latter week, trying to get rid of it. Man wakes me up and tells me that the TV stopped working. I'm like, oh no. You know, and then she's texting the young man who she brought into the AT&T guy, and I'm thinking, oh, they got something going between them. His last name is Moore too, right? But I had to get out of that way too. And come to find out that she needed my credit card so she can have money to put on that I can pay for the bill that she's supposed to be able to take care of. That's her responsibility, right? The cable. I found the Amazon Fire Stick to eliminate the bill. Now she's going to add it on to mine, okay? Now I'm waiting for money to come to me, and I'm supposed to get back in touch with her so she can put it back on her account. You know, all because she doesn't have money, didn't have money to pay for the account. So I'm just wondering, is she trying to stick me or what? And so I had to come back to the middle way again this morning. So I had to bring it to her. You ain't trying to give me the, and I had to voice it in a way that you ain't trying to stick that bill with me, right? That means not only the mortgage, the assessment, the groceries, the whatever you need. Now I got the cable bill. Huh? I had to come back to the middle way.
Remove problems by removing the problem. You know, if you don't want the bill, just get rid of the whole TV. That's what I'm
No, well, that is, I don't want to do that either. You know, but
Did that to the car though. Like, you know, suspend my license. All right.
There you go.
She's the one that gets the valid driver's license. I don't. You know, she got the car. You know, she better not let nothing happen to that car because I put a used engine in it, thermostat, fan, radiator. Basically bought her a whole new car, a whole new used car, and she ain't paid for that yet either.
A whole new used car.
Well, after all, it was a used engine, right? Everything else on there is new.
Used car with brand new parts.
Yeah, people told me at work, so you could have bought a whole new car. Could have bought a whole new car. I ain't going there.
Speaking of new cars, I gotta make an appointment if you don't mind. Gotta change.
Okay.
I'm gonna shot everything today.
Oh, you ain't leaving us, are you?
Yeah, he's gotta
No,
come.
I'm here in spirit.
Oh man.
No, I gotta cut off for real though. I'm gonna go to my car and change. I'll be back.
All right now. It's not easy, seafood. But it ain't impossible.
291. Zen masters call the state of meditation the season of autumn, when all the leaves fall and the trees are standing bare naked. When consciousness drops all thoughts, it is like a tree without leaves, without foliage, exposed to the wind, to the moon, to the sun, to the rain, uncovered, unhidden. In that exposure there is a communion with existence. That communion is love. In that communion one becomes a lover of existence. (292) Meditation is not against thought, it is for transcendence. It is going beyond thoughts. It is becoming so utterly naked that you can be seen by existence as you really are, with no mask, with no garments, just like a small child. And these are the great moments of life, when love starts showering from the beyond and one becomes beloved of existence. But one has to earn it, one has to be worthy of it, one has to deserve it. That earning comes through meditation. Meditation prepares you to receive love. Existence is always ready to give it, but we are not ready to receive it. We are not empty enough to receive it. We are so full of rubbish. We are so full of thoughts, desires, moments, dreams, that there is no space within us. That space has to be created. That is the art of meditation, to create inner space.
Is that creating space for meditation?
Yes.
That's what I need to do more of. The sanctuary, the sun porch with plants in it, and I have to create that sanctuary for that time for meditation on a regular basis.
Are you ready? Let's focus on that wooden dummy.
Right. Okay, so,
It's me and you today to work on that.
yes. This is what I've been looking forward to.